The dust of the arena swirled thickly in the late afternoon sun, casting golden shafts of light that shimmered through the haze. A green flying beetle danced in the breeze, fighting for its life against a small predator bird. The two locked in an astonishing display of aerobatics, a living whirlwind of feathers and shell. The bird's agile wings snapped sharp against the air, making it dart in and out with terrifying precision. As the beetle twisted and pitched, trying desperately to outmaneuver the predator's gleaming beak and razor-taloned feet. In a straight-up fight, the bird's advantages would win every time. However, the beetle's ancestors were survivors. Only the biggest and strongest had bred through countless generations, forging a hardened breed. Even so, it hadn't been enough. Not until the beetle developed a last desperate weapon, a toxic spray that hissed from its hindquarters like a final curse, a bitter defiance against inevitable doom. This private war for the beetle's survival played out high above another, far grander struggle. One Robotron stood battered and rigid in the center of the grounds, its dented frame glinting dully under the fading light. Unit 88, Robotron, class Stealth Mercenary, the last of his squad.
5 against 1! The Onoros pack closes in! What a spectacle we have here, citizens!
Ho ho, but look there! He is standing strong. Stiff like my uncle Halvar at his 3rd wedding. Those optics, they are tracking something.
Tracking his own doom, maybe! 5 Onoros against 1 rust bucket. This won't take long.
The day's fights had dragged on without pause, but the spectators hadn't lost their zeal yet. Voices called down from the stands, hoarse and cracking from hours of shouting. Between the cries, the hollow clang of metal cups and the thunder of stomping feet filled the silence, echoing around the stone coliseum like a heartbeat, a primal rhythm that pulsed through the crowd. Unit 88 processed the approaching threat. His diagnostics scrolled warnings. Armor, 32% integrity. Fuel, low. Coolant, compromised. Win probability, 0.6%. But something else flickered in his neural networks. Not code, not protocol.
I do not want to die.
The Robotron Stealth Mercenary stood surrounded by the remaining 5-member Onoros team. One of them sagged visibly, badly injured but still upright through sheer stubbornness, his breath rasping like broken bellows. The others wore dirt and blood as second skins, their bodies marked by long slashes and bruises, each wound a testament to the brutal dance they'd endured. It had been a hard-won fight, the arena floor itself scarred with gouges and dark stains, a canvas of chaos painted by their struggle. The outcome now was just a matter of time. 1 Robotron against 5 Onoros. Their dense hides and brutal close-quarter tactics had saved them where cunning failed. The Onoros clone fighters understood each other without speaking, controlled by a distant being, the Onoros Maxa, flowing like a single organism to whittle the team down to its final member.
The Onoros, they move like one man with 5 heads. But the robot, look at him. He's watching the beetle. Maybe thinking about a snack.
Entertainment value, maybe? Ha ha ha! Though I doubt he's programmed for poetry.
They advanced inward, spears held steady, at chest height, glinting under the sinking sun. The tips glowed hot, humming with an electrical charge that spat blue lightning between the connecting rods. If even a brush of those weapons touched the Robotron's metal skin, they would fry his circuitry and end the match, clearing the field for a fresh combatant. The air crackled with tension, the crowd leaning forward, their collective breath held in anticipation. Unit 88's gaze tracked the aerial battle above. The bird was winning. Logic dictated it should. Superior speed, agility, weaponry. The beetle had no advantages except
Desperation. Choice.
in front of Unit 88, the small beetle flew by. The attacking bird was about to clutch in its talons, mouth open for the death stroke. The insect, in an act of desperation, released its poison gas. The bird entered the small cloud. Mid-flap, the attacker fell over dead, plummeting to the arena floor like a stone.
The beetle chose.
Oh boy, that bug just won. By the spirits, he chose to fight.
Nature's brutal, folks, but let's focus on our own predators here.
Inspiration kindled inside Unit 88's neural sensors, a spark of defiance mirroring the beetle's final stand. A renewed desire for survival surged. With a savage motion, he struck his Dawn sword through his own electronic arm at the elbow joint.
I choose.
Hydraulic fluid gushed out, spraying the nearest Onoros fighter, who was poised to strike with his electrified spear. The liquid met the taser head, and blue crackling electricity erupted into flames upon contact. Unit 88 spun in a fast circle, engulfing all 5 attackers in a fireball of death. The Onoros were taken off guard, their dense hides no match for the inferno. Their skin popped and sizzled upon the flames as safety crews rushed in to extinguish the blaze. The cameras zoomed in on the carnage, and the crowd roared with glee, their bloodlust sated for the moment. Unit 88 kept spinning until his fluid failed. His body slumped, no longer able to move, the sensors screaming for action, but the pumps had run dry.
By the Trillium gods! He used his own hydraulic system as an incendiary weapon!
That wasn't numbers and wires, that was guts and choice.
His eyes stayed perfectly clear until they weren't. The blackness of sleep slowly creeping over him as he powered down. A warrior's end in the heart of the arena.
Was it enough? Did I matter?
The thought flickered once more before darkness claimed him. By the time the medics and arena cleaning crews reached the battle, all fighters had perished. The next fight was scheduled in 30 minutes, and the incoming combatants were shocked at the stench and brutality of the previous bout. The air thick with the acrid scent of scorched flesh and metal. The Alton team of specialists waited with their tools in hand, reconstruction chambers pepped and humming with latent energy. A squad of corrid laborers stood at the side station with buckets and shovels. No shovel scraped deeper than a corrid's. Not when there was fluid to scrub or random treasures to uncover. Sometimes even gold teeth fillings from human fighters. There was no end to the spoils of this grim harvest. The bullhorn sounded, and the teams rushed forward. After the samples were collected, the chambers glowed with Trillium. The cloning process was lightning fast, if the recipient didn't need a perfect recreation. The only hang-up was the Robotrons. Many had to be jacked into a secondary body. A game of leapfrog as the original was reconstructed, their consciousness flickering between frames like a restless ghost. Unit 88's frame was lifted onto a reconstruction slab. An Alton technician paused over the neural readouts.
This one's got memory fragmentation, personality bleed. Look at these decision trees. They're erratic.
You think he wanted to win?
He wanted something.
These teams were spread across the Federation now, thanks to the Alien Legends tournaments and dungeons. Wherever fighters competed, the Altons were ready for the next bout. It was a lifestyle, being a fighter, and it would transform you, whether you liked it or not. Arena champions were the most resurrected of all the fighters. Once a fighting squad won in the arena, a team captain was offered a place on the championship team. 6 fighters, 6 different teams all working at securing a lasting place at the top. Some teams left their weakest fighters, others their strongest. The rewards were paid to those who sat in the squad. Time served style. It was financially beneficial to leave your best fighter as captain unless you had a tournament to fight in or wanted to increase their skills. These fighters always rejoined the team, but it was only once their residence came to an end. The giant digital display started flashing the winner of the event. The announcer's voice echoed off the walls as the broadcast began.
That was as close as we have seen yet today. What a brutal finish between the arena champions and the challengers. With highlight reels like this, these fighters will make the galactic news for sure. Look at those devastating blows and that fireball. Who wants barbecue? With the results under review, it seems that the challengers are going to win this one on a technicality. Apparently, one of the Onoros fighters was able to survive the blast furnace. Our old town team said he gave the Core-Ed cleaners a real fight, getting the sword out of his crispy little hand. We wanted to interview him, but not much was left, appropriate for the kids at home.
Crispy little hand, he says. I love this job.
From out of the tank, the body hit the table, dripping with fluid. Suddenly, a bright light flashed before the Onoros' eyes. It lived once more. Its breath was rapid, heart pounding in its chest. Its mind was silent for the first time ever. The world around it seemed different. Colors brighter, sounds sharper. The beauty of existence almost overwhelming. Then a tearing sensation ripped through his head, like an unwanted stranger with a knife slicing into his mind. A savage scream tore from lips that bore bright new teeth. All 5 Onoros fighters screamed. The Maxa was re-establishing its psychic connection, binding them once more into its will. Within seconds, the 6 fighters rose silently to their feet, grabbing nearby weapons and heading for the fighting lists, past the bloody buckets that they had come from. Their eyes, dull gray, stared blankly ahead. Their movements drone-like, a chilling march toward the next slaughter. Walking out to their death again.
What a brutal finish! Nature's brutal, folks.
I love this job.